This video is all about this KAIWEETS KES02 and it's a stud metal and cable detector, and I'm going to go through how it operates, the benefits of it and why you need one if you do any DIY at home. Before we go through how to operate it, let's look at the unit itself. So if we go over onto the back, you've got a battery cover there that you take off, and it's powered by a 9-volt battery, which is actually supplied as part of the package, which is good. And also on the back, you'll see that there's felt pads in 5 places there. So that means that when you're running it over the wall, especially if it's a painted wall, you're not going to leave any marks and it's going to glide easily, which is a good thing. And if we turn it over again and have a look at the controls on it, so you've got 2 buttons. You've got a selector button on the front, which also turns it on and off. And on the side here, this is a calibration button. Again, you'll see how that operates. And the screen, it's a coloured LCD screen that gives you all the information that you're going to need for any project that you're doing. And I'm going to demonstrate how to use it on this 9.5mm thick plasterboard. And on the back of it, you'll see that I've put a wooden stud and a metal pipe. Now, what I'll do is I'll show you the cable, but I'll show you that in the house, actually, in the plaster wall. And I'll show you some of the instances where I've used it as well to put things like TV brackets and shelves, and just why you need it. Okay, so you can see the stud sticking out of the top of the plasterboard, and I've actually marked on the width of the stud just for testing purposes. Right, so the first thing to do is turn it on with a button. So a short press turns it on. It's already set up with 1/2 inch depth, and obviously the plasterboard is 9.5mm, so it's less than 1/2 inch. And then what you've got to do, you've got to calibrate it with the surface that you're putting it on, or the depth of the surface. And to do that, you've got the button on the left hand side there, and you pop it onto the surface, press the button, and you'll see a countdown of red lines. That now is calibrated, so you can leave go of the button and you just drag it across, and as it comes close to the stud, you will see. So it starts to see it there, and it's saying that that's the arrow of direction that you're going. Now it's saying center, but at the moment it doesn't really know it's the center. So until you go off it and then actually come back, now it'll pick up the dead center there. And as you can see, that's the outside line, that's the inside line, and that is dead center on there. So that's how easy it was to find the stud. And you really can't go wrong with something like that, because if you're hanging anything like a TV bracket, for example, so we've got a TV bracket which I think is holding a TV that's 55 inches, and I've got another one that's holding a 65-inch TV. Now that needs to be secure. You can use fastenings on plasterboard, but if you can find the stud behind there to screw into, much more secure and safe than using a plasterboard fixing. Okay, so we can see the metal tube that's running behind the plasterboard. Now you set it up slightly differently for that. You press the button. Now you don't want the thickness of a material, so you don't want the 1/2 inch, you don't want the inch, and you don't want the 1 3/4. If you move it over to the metal bar there, or the crosscut of a metal beam, again, you pop it on and you calibrate it with the button on the side. So we just press that. Again, you see the red lines count down. Leave go of it. It's calibrated against the surface now. And if we move it across, you'll see it starts to pick up metal. Now it's picking it up quite a way off. And it's picked it all the way up there, and it loses it again. Now what you want to do, I'll just take it back, bring it in until you get the point going up and mark it. So that's the mark there. And then on the other side, bring it across until again you get the point, and then mark it. And then where you've got your 2 marks there and there, the center of the mark is actually where the pipe is. So that's a slightly different way of using it for the metal, but again, mark it, and the pipe's in the center of that. Now just before I move on to the cable, another way that you can find a stud, you may find that the depth of the plasterboard on top is making it difficult. So pop it onto finding metal again, and if we calibrate it, oops daisy, just get it to the right place. Right, calibrate it. Now obviously it's not finding the stud, but what it is going to find, and there we go, is the screw head. And if you mark where that screw head is, and there's the other one, if you mark where that screw head is, you'll find that once you've marked them all, then that will be the line of the stud, so you can screw into that even if you can't find the stud through the stud detector. Right, now as far as cable goes, here's some cable. I am going to show you in a wall so that you actually see it in situ behind plaster, but I'm just going to show you it outside of a wall. If we turn it on and if we take it through to cable, you can calibrate it in the air. Just press the button again. Now the cable, if I hold it over there, it's showing, where's it gone? It's showing that there's cable, but if you have a look up in the top right hand side there, it's showing that there's actual power running through it. Right, so here we've got two lights that are in a plastered wall. It's not a hollow wall, it's solid plaster. And if I'm not mistaken, the power cable comes in from there, goes into the light, and then comes and tracks along there. So if we turn it on, move it across to cable, and I'm going to pop it on there and then calibrate it. So that's it calibrated. And the first thing I'll do is I'll run up this side just to make sure. Yeah, so pretty much the cable is running in there, and you can see the power indicator there as well. So if we drop it back down, as I say, I think the cable runs in between. So if we bring it over and move it up, again, you can see that the cable comes across. It's showing that there's power running through it. It's showing that the cable's there, so that's all good. Right then, so far we've found studs to screw into. We've found pipes that we don't want to drill into, especially the water pipes, copper pipes, something like that. And what we've just seen there is finding electric cable, because again, if you're going to be drilling into a wall, the last thing that you want to do is drill into an electric cable, because then you're going to have to chisel it out, repair the cable. It's not worth it. However, for under £24, and there might be a promotion on it as well at the moment, that is going to save you so much time and heartache in the future. Let's just see one last thing where I've used it to find the studs in a wall to put a TV bracket up. So I used a stud pipe and cable detector to hang this 65-inch TV. And this is on a solid wall, but I've got lights on either side. So the one thing that I wanted to know here was I going to be drilling into where there was a cable? And I used a stud detector to also hang this wall. Now this is on a plasterboard wall, so I needed to find where the studs were so that I could screw directly into them, because it's a heavy television and the last thing that you want it doing is coming off. Right then, so in summary, this KAIWEETS stud pipe and electric tester, is it worth it? Well, you've seen it through all the applications that I've used it in, so you can see how beneficial it's going to be. £24 or under, you can't knock that. I have used a different manufacturer of one of these, and it wasn't as clear to read or as accurate, in all honesty. But yeah, why wouldn't you get one of these? It'll save you so much time, it'll save you so much heartache if you are going to screw into a pipe and get a burst, or into an electric cable and blow out. So this is a huge recommendation from me, an absolutely huge recommendation. If you do any DIY at home, you are going to need one of these in the drawer for when you need it.